At first glance, you can see these earrings, this electronic tag. Looks pretty harmless, right? I mean, who steals earrings from Claire's, right? It's something put on a product to keep that product safe, to help a merchant not lose their merchandise, to help against theft. Pretty harmless, correct? Well, yeah, provided it's used only in the intent that it was meant to originally be used for. But like all things, we take things too far, and now they are destroying not only privacy, not only security, but actually a lot of these devices are the main driver in the cause of child abduction, in the cause of stalking, in the cause of, frankly, a lot of other things that are very bad that I don't even want to talk about on my channel. Now, is Claire responsible with this little electronic device? No. Are these other stores that put the tags to try to keep people from stealing their newest, latest, hottest, freshest gear? No. But today in Operation RFID, we're going to break down what you can do because, per usual, this technology is being used against you. Now, this is pretty crazy, pretty unfortunate, and something that people need to really take seriously. I'm getting so tired of these corporations and these governments taking so many liberties. We've created Stalker Nation. If you're a stalker, there's never been a better time to be alive. If you're a creep, there's never been a better time to be alive. You can find anybody at almost any time, almost anywhere. In fact, they do it for you. In Vegas, you got drunk girls tagging where they are. Are you out of your mind? But we're going to set that aside for a minute. I wish we lived in a society where you could do that and that'd be okay. But like I said, a lot of these very serious crimes are up a couple 1,000% since I was a kid, and I was only a kid in the 90s. It wasn't like 100 years ago where we had horse and buggies and wagons. We basically had the same stuff, just worse graphics and bigger boxes. It's incredible. So, RFID, radio frequency, now has long range. And this isn't new. There's been long range RFID for a while. However, now with a lot of these tracking systems that are built into merchandise, a lot of them will actually be able to receive data and information. So it's going to be what's called a live unit. Now, if it can receive metadata, which we all know how secure that is, you could break any metadata. That's why you got to run every photo on Instagram or other site through a metadata destruction software so you can scramble it. Otherwise, I can go to your Instagram and find out where you took the picture. The amount of data that we put out there is ridiculous. And now with these live unit tracking devices, you buy a box of cereal, somebody could track you through your box of cereal? Well, yeah, by 2025, most major corporations are adopting live unit. Now, I've talked about one of my favorite cryptocurrencies, VChain. And VChain is built to try to circumvent counterfeits. Now, you take these big brands like Louis Vuitton and Gucci and even skater brands like Supreme. I mean, that started as a skateboard. That was a lame skateboard brand when I was a kid. Now it's the biggest hype beast there ever could be. Right? You take some of these brands, Rolex is another big one, right? Even Nike and Under Armour, that are knocked off at spectacular fashion worldwide. And what you're trying to do is trying to be able to authenticate real ones versus fake ones, especially now where you've got suppliers from sites like Alibaba and other companies where if you go have something produced, you can do that, and then they'll literally produce that exact same product for somebody else, basically your competitor. And they can eitherwise relabel it, so white label it, private label it for you, or they'll just sell you the same one. They don't even care because China doesn't have any laws when it comes to counterfeit. China can legally sell any counterfeits they want. You can legally buy them, but you legally technically can't sell them in America. So it's a very big gray area. It's a very weird thing we live in now. It's very interesting, the society we live in. Well, VChain is supposed to circumvent some of the authentication, and we've looked at some other technology that are supposed to circumvent on the consumer side as far as lowering theft. I mean, we all saw what happened in 2020 in the United States with these ridiculous riots and all this merchandise being stolen. With these new devices, they'll be able to go round up all that merchandise. Now, in theory, you're like, well, don't steal merchandise and you won't have this problem. Okay, and I could even, as much as I don't like that kind of thing, I could even get on board. Okay, so you know how like a gift card, right? Let's say we have a gift card. If you steal a gift card from a store and then you take it home, it's worthless because it hasn't been activated. Now, if you steal a prepaid phone card from a store, and it's worthless because it hasn't been activated. Okay, so if I scan an item, does it deactivate the tracking? No! And that's the problem. So even if it was like theft and you stole something and the tracking, and a lot of this stemmed up from a lot of big companies who spent billions of dollars on this because of the riots. They sat back, collected the insurance company money, and then said, hey, we've got a plan. And now they're implementing these crazy electronic tracking devices that will not be able to turn off. And also, it's going to track who bought them. Now, you might think, well, Cody, it doesn't matter who bought them, right? Because, what if you buy it with cash or what if you buy it with a gift card? Well, okay, possible. However, cash is down to about 9%, meaning 91% of transactions are electronic, whether it's a debit card or whether it's some app on your phone, Apple Pay, Amazon Pay, Square, PayPal, Cash App, it doesn't matter, right? Cash is down to like 9%, which is why Congress is trying to end cash and bring in the Fed coin as the only money. No crypto, no cash, no nothing, just Fed coin. Now, you might be thinking, well, Cody, the United States doesn't have any access to your bank account. I've already told you, and so has probably everybody, there's the new bill in Congress as we speak. I know you've heard of it because it's one of the biggest bills that Congress has ever tried to pass. It's about $3.5 trillion. Really, it's closer to $6 trillion when all the gimmicks are played out. And in there is a plan to double the size of the IRS and to be able to go through Americans' bank accounts, all of them. You have more than 600 in the account or any transaction more than 600, which is all bank accounts. So they wrote it both ways. So if you have a transaction more than 600, the bank has to report that to the IRS. The bank's going to have to report billions of transactions. Then if you have more than 600 in the account, they have to report all of the transactions. And then they wrote it up as a fail-safe, if that doesn't pass, that they can track it if you use more than $10,000 in a year. So instead of $10,000 purchases, they can't track your account, but as soon as you hit $10,000, which for the average American is within 3 months, then they can retroactively go through your account for the previous 2 years and moving forward for the rest of the calendar year. Well, if your bills are $3,500 a month, by March every year, the government gets access to your bank account because you will have spent at least $3,500. I mean, how long does it take you to go through $10,000? You spend less than $10,000 a year? Are your bills $500 a month? Are you 12? No. The average American has 3, 4, 5, 6 grand worth of bills a month. So the average American by February or March, the government will get full and complete access. Then it goes retroactive 2 years. So as soon as they get access, they never lose access because of the retroactive feature. You see what I'm saying? So now we've got stores tracking everything we buy, putting our metadata of how we bought it into the device. And so corporations are going to have a list of every single thing you own based on, well, you bought it from us. Then we've got a scenario because it doesn't get turned off. It's not like a typical security device where it gets, no. Because like if I buy this hoodie, and this hoodie was, I think it was like 100 and, I bought it online, so it wouldn't have a thing. But let's say I bought this in a store. This is one of those hoodies with all the pocket, like it was like 120 bucks. Not crazy, but it's enough to where they would put a tag in it, right? If I bought this in a department store. Can't remember last time shopping in a department store, probably 5 years ago. But let's just say I bought it in a store. It'd have a tag. When I buy it, they take the tag off. Fair. They have the right to protect their merchandise. But then when I buy it, I have rights too. It becomes mine, and they take the tag off. Well, now you're going to have these electronic things built in. Now, you might be saying, well, Cody, you can easily peel that sticker off the back. Yes, I can peel the sticker off the back of my daughter's earrings. But for a lot of these things, they're built in. You're going to go grocery shopping and try to find the sticker on every single thing. Everything you buy, you're going to try to find it. You're going to spend half your life trying to find tracking devices. At what point is it not worth it? At what point do people stand up and realize that this RFID crap, isn't it convenient that we went from base level technology to riots to company? And you notice how the companies were excited about the riots? They're like, oh, that's no problem. I mean, the CEO was Target's like, we don't care. The CEO of all these companies didn't care. You ever notice that? I was pissed like a lot of entrepreneurs, but a lot of the biggest CEOs in the world were like, we don't care. And people were like, well, they don't care because they have insurance. It wasn't that. And these guys wrecked their businesses and they built them back. Okay. But now all of a sudden there's these crazy tracking devices that are coming into play, and they're supposed to be mass adopted by 2025. And so now they'll be able to track everything you do. And simultaneously, the government's passing a bill where government has this is literally the most tyrannical government. I mean, you can't get any worse. Well, I guess you could. I guess they could bring back slavery. Ask all the, Native Americans, African Americans, Asian Americans, people in Germany. People have gone through that worldwide for thousands of years. Is that their next plan? I have no idea. Because right now it's digital slavery is what they're working on. Now people say, well, you can get rid of technology. Really? How? In what sector? There are 0 sectors that don't use technology. None. What sector doesn't use technology? And even if you find a sector, which is very rare, people like construction. Construction is all computers nowadays. And even if you are a skilled craftsman at your trade, guarantee the company you work for, computers, banking, computers, all the blueprints, the drawing, what are you talking? There's no industries that isn't all technology all the time. Also, it's almost impossible for someone to get a job without a cell phone. Employers want to be able to get in contact with you at all times. It's very tough. So we've got this tracking society. Now, the good news is small businesses in America still stand strong. Now, we can see why the government is so pro get rid of all the small businesses, because most small businesses are like, yeah, dude, kick rocks. We're not doing that. Right? And I can agree. I own a small business. A lot of you might own small businesses, or maybe you work for small businesses. Small businesses are not going to be adopting this, most of them. So that's the good news. But these major corporations, these faceless, nameless, horrible corporations will be adopting this. All of them. All your favorite big name brands will be adopting this. So you have to decide. And all the products from China, they're mandating it in China. Now, this is going to be very interesting to see what happens. Now, don't get me wrong. 95% of consumers could care less. Track them, stock them, catalog them, tag them. You could tag them personally. They don't care. But that's the scary part. But there still is 5 to 10 million Americans who are actual Americans who believe in freedom, who believe in this stuff. But the number's getting small. Somebody told me the other day there's probably 20 million actual, Americans who care about America anymore. And I think that's even a stretch. There's hundreds of millions of Americans who don't give a crap about this country. Or they're just not thinking about it. They're not worried about it. They just got their head in the clouds. There's kind of 2 camps. And then there's probably 50 million who actively want to destroy this country. Actively. That's their life's mission. So I wanted to bring this to your attention. I'm going to be doing some experimenting with some of these different devices. They're getting more advanced. Obviously, this is nothing. As soon as you leave the store, it doesn't matter. You can peel it off, throw it in the garbage. This is what the devices should have been. But now, full bank access, full tracking access, full metadata. You're going to spend your life trying to find these tags. And there's a lot of food products who put them in the food, in the bag. It's incredible. They've got edible ones now where if you eat them, it's not a problem. Apparently they dissolve, but who knows? This is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I would really start structuring your life around supporting small business and not these big corporations. Because as long as you keep buying every product they put out, they keep making all unlimited money, so they don't have to. The irony of these big companies is they could tell their customers to go F off because they don't need you. They need the masses. And if Apple lost 10% of its customers, it would still be the biggest company on earth. So who cares? Now, 40% of their customers stood up and said, hey, we don't want this. They would change so fast, they would be bowing down, whatever you want, whatever you need, we'll do it for you. But people don't do that. People don't stand together. People don't unite for what's best for them. They just like, yeah, no, cool, sounds good, cool. Bring on more tracking, more big government. So appreciate you guys checking this out. We're going to be dissecting this. This has been brought to my attention a lot the last 6 months. I've been looking into it. I couldn't believe it, but at this point, I think I could believe pretty much anything. There is some good news on the horizon for small businesses and things starting to get back to normal, which I like to bring in good news as well. I like to bring in solutions. Most of my videos here on Privacy X, I give you the problem and the solution. There has been a few videos lately where there's problems and there's not a good solution, and it really sucks. So we're actively trying to seek a solution. And again, any of our videos, if you guys have solutions, feel free to leave them down below. You guys always give me ideas of videos that we can make, and I add them to my list. I have a huge list of videos we're making, but I add the good ones to my list. So if you've got any ideas, you can always leave them in the comments. And also, if you've got any solutions that you don't feel we touched on, you can always leave them in the comments, and we can always do follow-up videos, and I can also put them in question and answer videos. Appreciate you guys checking out this video. Make sure you go on and everything you do. Privacy is a right, and it's a right that needs to be protected. If you don't protect it, I don't protect it. You can bet that the government and the big companies won't protect it. So take action every single day of your life, and I'll see you in the next video.